Okay, it's Mike from the Mike James Rock Show. We're at Slam Dunk 2018. Palaye Royale have joined us on the sofas. Chairs,
hello.
what we want to call them. Yeah. How is it going, gentlemen?
Wonderful. It's
nice going pretty good.
We're finally at like a 5 for 5 on all our interviews today and yesterday that everyone said the band name correctly.
Get on.
Americans just don't get it. You know?
Palaye Royale.
Thank you. It's royal. There you go.
Beautiful.
You understand?
Yeah. It's cool.
Beautiful.
I've been seeing your name buzzing around all year. It's finally good to like catch up with you and say hi, kind of thing. But for a lot of our listeners and viewers, you're kind of quite a new band to the UK. So give us a brief lowdown on what the band's about.
Well, the band is about love, peace, and destroying everything on stage.
Nice.
And we're also about family.
Okay.
Definitely family. No, this is all bullshit.
No, I think for us, we definitely stylistically we've always been rock and roll based. We influences. I think it's just why like Europe has really had gravitated towards us, because people always automatically think we're European or from England, and it's because the music styles like the Stones and the Faces, like that's what we grew up listening to, and that inspired the general idea of what we were stylistically going for. And this time. Yeah, as the time has gone on, we've definitely grown and getting into the point of like the Libertines and Arctic Monkeys, and like as time has gone on, so you get a little bit more youthful, and I think we're one of the few bands that are fashioned with the music is important to us, and it's the whole idea of a band isn't just the music, it's the whole identity of who you are, and this is a show and not sitting on stage with a computer and actually being live and being the real deal, And
I think it's important for fans to be able to identify themselves in a band more so than just the music. And that's the way we kind of extend ourselves to our fans. It is family, and it's like, I don't know, it's a nice thing to be a part of.
Because you've all got individual looks, but you can tell you're tight as a band together, kind of thing.
And like our biggest thing on stage is kind of like, I'm just letting everyone know there's no way I'm comparing us to Nirvana at all. That's not a thing. But like that's what I loved about Nirvana is like, they played how they felt every night, and it was a different show every night, even though they played the same set. And I think that's so important to bring back. When you're like seeing a show, it's not perfect. And it's exactly how you feel that day, and like,
of course,
and like I always hate seeing bands where it's all on computers and everything sounds the exact same as the record, and I feel like the biggest thing for this band is just play how the fuck we feel. And
who cares if you hit a bum note whilst you're running across the stage at 100 miles an hour, man? It's gonna happen. That's live music, isn't it? It's the entertainment side of it.
Yeah, if you want to listen to the record, go home and listen to it.
Exactly, that's what iPods are designed for. That and pissing off your neighbours, right?
Exactly, absolutely.
You touched on it just now. Your influences are very wide and older generation kind of. You look like quite a young band. I'm not going to ask your ages, but
we're definitely very young. But
to name check bands like the Faces, as well as Nirvana, that's almost a generation ago. But then you bring it back in with the Arctic Monkeys and the Libertines and stuff. So.
Well, it was the Jam and the Style Council. Like our mom used to go out with them and was shooting photography for them. So Paul Weller was like. Oddly, like such a weird influence on our band as we became, young men, and I was like, oh, don't go to school anymore, and like he told us that, and we're like, okay, let's do that, and I'm happy things are working out, but we've taken a lot from the 13th Floor Elevators and the small Velvet Underground, Small Faces, the Doors, the Bowies and the T-Rex, and all that has more meaning to us than any music that means anything to anyone now in this generation, because I feel it's so contrived and put together, and there's no honesty, and like people are putting out records for themselves.
A lot of those bands that you've mentioned as well were around sort of in the 60s when the Summer of Love and the hippie movement, they projected peace and love to each other, and that was the first thing you said to me. It's like the band is about family and about love. So you're still singing those kind of original ideas that came out from that movement. Do you feel that you're heading up a kind of movement of younger bands that are into that sort of more older style of like hippie kind of rock and that kind of California sound?
Absolutely,
I think like the biggest thing, especially nowadays, it's because there's so few actual songwriters that like actually perform music, and I think that was that's why that music was so fucking great back in the day. It's just because that's exactly the performers writing the music.
Yeah, three guys in a bedroom or a garage, like sweating
exactly,
and
it's their lyrics, and that's why it meant so much to them, and that's why it meant so much to other people. Now it's like, people are like buying songs, and they're like, have songs just given to them, and I feel like, it's just more meaning when it's coming from yourself and you're telling your own story.
Okay,
and I think that's the most important thing about music.
So are you going about using the industry in an old-fashioned kind of way, doing an album, a tour and an album? Is that what the plan is?
No, well, the way we've kind of got to, you have to realize where the music is headed, and that you can be putting out music any day, every day, because the internet has been allowed that platform of Spotify and Apple Music and whatnot. And you have to figure out a physicality that you have with the digital world, that you put out records, but it's almost, there's no excuse not to put out an album almost every year. It's everyone's I think the cycle of a 2-year cycle, album tour is so passé, and no one needs to do it anymore. You could be putting out a single and a B-side to it every month, and then compile it together with a couple new songs and make a record.
Because you can record anywhere in the world, on tour buses.
Coming from a band that hasn't put out a record for 2 years.
I know, and but that was the industry of what we live in, is that they think what we're doing is wrong. So,
you've got to carve your own lane, haven't you? And once you find your lane,
now
make it as big as possible.
When you have an audience behind you, that makes it very simple for this.
What's the plans for the rest of the year? I did see you're coming back to the UK in the fall, aren't you?
Yeah, we're headlining Coco in London, which is going to be killer, aesthetically.
Iconic festival.
Yeah,
venue,
and then we're doing Glasgow, and we're doing Manchester, and then we're doing a few dates in Europe. But it's our first headline experience in the UK. We've only played. Tonight will be our third show in the UK, and the first gig we ever played sold out in 24 hours in Camden. So it was like, there's something that we know that's that there's a little magic that's happening within the UK with our music. Kids are gravitating to it very quickly.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the interview, I've seen your name around so often just this year. It's like you've become one of this year's buzz bands. You're a thing now. It's great.
Funny, because this is our today will be our third show ever in England. It's crazy.
But you're coming back, and by then,
I never want to leave.
It's cool. It's our accent, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Everything sounds cool.
Beans. There's something about your beans, man. You guys have superior beans. Beans on toast, I fuck with it.
Just beans from a can, yeah?
Yeah. Oh,
nice,
so
man.
Good. The Heinz beans changed my fucking life.
I think that's the best place to leave the interview there, man, on a can of baked beans. It's been an absolute pleasure finding out about you, and hopefully we'll catch up with you in the fall when you're over here next. Thanks very much, guys. That's cool.
Thank you so much.
Hi guys, thanks for watching the interview with Palaye Royale. Said it correctly. If you liked that interview, we've got hundreds of other runs. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. You know the score, you know what you're doing. Go and hit it. Watch this interview again and again, and all of our other ones. Thanks very much.
Welcome to the My James Rock Show.